In January, if you would have asked me if I would ever lead a demonstration, I probably would have laughed and said, I have no clue how to do something like that. And when Julia said to me, why don't you do it? I mean, I was kind of stunned when I said, okay. My first thought was, I have no idea how to do it. But then suddenly, all these ideas came to me. And that's why I feel like when the Spirit leads us, we get the ideas that we need. We get the plan. I remember in the 1960s watching on TV how peaceful protesters were being attacked by police dogs and fire hoses, and I knew that wasn't right. And I think all my life I've been aware of racial injustice. But so many of us thought back when the Civil Rights Act was passed in 1963 that we had won many battles, which we had, which people had won. But somehow that did not last. But then we thought when we elected an African American president, Barack Obama, that the country had at last reached that plateau where we could look at a person for their qualities and their abilities. And we found out that wasn't the case. And we see more racial polarization now than we've seen before. So when we moved to Tybee, I became a member of the Tybee MLK organization. And at the time, I wasn't real active. I tried to take the minutes. My husband was not well. And twice I had to go on a leave of absence from the organization because I needed to take care of my husband. And then he passed away December 22nd of 2019. And during this time of mourning for him, and then the killings that were happening of African American men by the police just triggered something. And then when George Floyd was killed and we saw that video, so many of us, I think, it was just like that was the last thing anybody, white or black, wanted to see. And there was a demonstration in Savannah that was peaceful. And I said to Julia Pierce, who is the coordinator of Tybee MLK, and she's African American, and I said, Julia, why don't we have a demonstration on Tybee? We don't all want to drive into Savannah. And I thought she would say she would do it. But what she said to me was, well, Pat, why don't you organize a demonstration? And I said, okay, I'll do it. I think people were shocked because we are primarily a white island. We're primarily older. But people came out. We had well over 100 people. The isolation of COVID gives me even more time to research things or to contact people. So I think sometimes life just brings different sets of circumstances, and sometimes we lose one thing that's important to us, but then we're granted something else that we can focus on that helps us through a previous loss.